For today's headlines, Go steps in as Rody retires. PDPLaban kicks Pacman out. Pimentel on why PDP expelled Pacquiao, just their imagination. Miners vac starts October 15. Farmers benefit from rice procurement system. Penalize coin hoarding. TNT pulls through over San Miguel 89 to 86. 5.6 magnitude earthquake rocks Occidental Mindoro. Good morning, I am Venice Bautista and you are watching Tribune News on Q. Today is October 4, 2021 and here are the latest news of this Monday morning. Senator Christopher Bongo on Saturday stepped into the batting plate, ready to swing at whatever curved balls the topsy-turvy Philippine politics may throw his way, as the ruling PDPLaban's vice presidential candidate in next year's elections. A reluctant candidate no more, Go proved true to his word that he'd go where President Rodrigo Duterte and the Filipino people would want him to be, as substitute VP bet for the retiring chief executive. Go submitted his certificate of candidacy for the vice presidency with the Commission on Elections on the second day of the week-long filing period in Pasay City. President Duterte, who time and again called Go Mr. President, accompanied his longtime special assistant in filing his COC in a development that caught political pundits by surprise. PDPLaban has nominated Go as its bet for president, but the senator declined, saying that he would rather focus his time on his work at the Senate. Go vowed to continue Duterte's flagship projects, including the anti-drug war and the ambitious Build, Build, Build program. Senator Go will go against Senate President Vicente Soto III of the Nationalist People's Coalition, House Deputy Speaker Jose Lito Atienza Jr. of PROMD, and Dr. Blogger Willie Ong of Action Democratico. PDPLaban has yet to announce its standard bearer in the 2022 elections, 6 days before the COMELEC's deadline for COC filing. Duterte's announced vice presidential run sparked debate among the public whether it is constitutional. His critics previously vowed to question the matter before the Supreme Court, claiming that such a move was an attempt to circumvent the constitutional provision on re-election. PDPLaban on Sunday announced Senator Manny Pacquiao's automatic expulsion from the administration party following the filing of his certificate of candidacy for president Friday under the Provincial Development Initiative, or PROMD. Lawyer Melvin Matibag, Secretary General of PDPLaban, chaired by President Rodrigo Duterte and headed by Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi as president, said Pacquiao's expulsion was on account of his violation of Section 6, Article 7 of the party's constitution and bylaws. Under the provision, PDPLaban members are prohibited from filing their COC for an office or position under the auspices of another political party. The violation of the provision can be ground for automatic expulsion, it added. Pacquiao and Senator Aquilino Coco Pimentel III are claiming to be the legitimate leaders of PDPLaban in a case now up for resolution by the Commission on Elections. Under the provision, PDPLaban members are prohibited from filing their COC for an office or position under the auspices of another political party. The violation of the provision can be a ground for automatic expulsion. Reacting to the PDPLaban announcement, Pimentel said their group has allowed Pacquiao to use PROMD's certificate of nomination and acceptance under a resolution passed by their National Executive Committee. Pimentel said that aside from PROMD, their PDPLaban also struck an alliance with the People's Champ movement, and he called the issue raised by Matibag against Pacquiao as a figment of the imagination. In related news, Senator Aquilino Coco Pimentel on Sunday, October 3, dismissed the expulsion of Senator Manny Pacquiao from the Partido Demokratiko Pilipino Lakas ng Bayan or PDPLaban by the party's rival wing led by Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi over alleged violations of the party's constitution. According to Pimentel, Cusi and Matibag do not know the facts. There is a PDPLaban, Progressive Movement for the Devolution of People's Champ Movement Alliance agreement called MP3 Alliance, where the partners also proclaimed Senator Pacquiao as their presidential candidate. PDPLaban National Executive Committee in a resolution allowed Senator Pacquiao to use the PROMD CONA in order to consolidate his support base and alliance partners because Senator Pacquiao is already known and identified with PDPLaban earlier in the day. The Cusi wing expelled Pacquiao from the party for allegedly violating Section 6, Article 7 of PDPLaban's constitution after Pacquiao filed his certificate for candidacy for president under PROMD. Lawyer Melvin Matibag, Secretary General of the party's Cusi wing, said it is a ground for automatic expulsion as the provision prohibits members from filing a COC under the auspices of another political party. Tribune News on Q will be back after these reminders.
Boto mo to, Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
Pabakura kayo.
This public service advisory is brought to you by Daily Tribune and 100.3 RJFM.
Magandang araw mga katribo! Narito na ang mga makakasama nyo tuwing umaga sa programang Gising Na. Roy Pelovelo, Comfy Manalo, Chinky Mangkukang, Vernon Velasco, Kim Sancha at Chirk Balagtas. Abangan ang programang Gising Na mula alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng umaga sa Facebook page ng Daily Tribune.
Ilabas ng mainit na kape at samahan kami sa inyong pag-almusal, mga katribo.
Sama-sama natin alamin ang mga natatagong istorya sa mga latest na kaganapan sa loob at labas ng bansa.
Simulan ang bawat umaga with good vibes sa mga informative and recreational segments dito sa ating programa.
Maaari niyo rin ibahagi sa amin ang inyong opinion via Daily Tribune Facebook page at Tribune Now sa YouTube.
Makichika na rin sa latest showbiz happenings mga katribo.
Kaya naman, magkita-kita po tayo mula Lunes hanggang Biyernes, alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng umaga at magsama-sama po tayo sa
Gising Na!
Magpabakura kayo.
Boto mo to, Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
We're back on Tribune News on Q. In other news, the Department of Health is now ready to vaccinate against COVID-19 12.7 million Filipinos aged 12 to 17 years old. Health Undersecretary Mirna Cabotaje told Daily Tribune on Sunday that the vaccination of minors will push through in about 10 days as more doses of COVID-19 vaccines are expected to arrive in the country. The official added that the government will use a phased approach strategy by prioritizing the vaccination of children with comorbidities in select hospitals in the National Capital Region. Earlier, Cabotaje said that the National Children's Hospital, Philippine Heart Center, and Philippine General Hospital have expressed their intention to participate in inoculating children and teenagers. Other hospitals that will participate in the pilot run are the National Kidney and Transplant Institute and the Philippine Children's Medical Center. Cabotaje assured the public that the vaccines are safe and will not harm children who have underlying health diseases. She said the country has enough supply of Pfizer and Moderna COVID-19 vaccines, the only two vaccine brands that had been given emergency use of authorization for the pediatric population. Vaccine Czar Carlito Galvez Jr. backed her up, saying we have enough vaccines for the rollout taking place in Metro Manila. Agriculture Secretary William Darr lauded the Provincial Food Councils palay procurement system of this province, which allows farmers to sell their rice harvest for a better price. During his visit to the Nueva Ecija grain drying facility, Darr witnessed farmer Danilo Padilla selling his wet palay for 14.70 per kilo or 1.70 pesos per kilo, higher than the buying rate of rice traders. Provincial agriculturist Bernardo Valdez said the procurement system was set up to benefit farmers who are shortchanged by rice traders. He added that the procurement system has opened a 24/7 available hotline for farmers to call 2 weeks before their harvest. The council staff picks up the palay from the farmer, and farmers who live far from the facility are asked to sell their palay to their assigned district traders. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas seeks the passage of a law to prevent hoarding of coins following the seizure of a stockpile of 1 peso coins worth 50 million pesos in Quezon City. The BSP said that they are advocating the passage of a law on the hoarding of an extremely large volume of coins, as the central bank believes that the criminalization of this activity reinforces continuing efforts to maintain and protect the integrity of Philippine currency. According to the central bank, coin hoarding results in the inefficient circulation of coins and prevents their primary use as medium of exchange. Still, the erring fiscal practice deters the efficient flow of transactions and causes an artificial shortage, disrupting the local financial system. As such, the banking regulator urged the public to refrain from the unnecessary accumulation of coins and utilize them to pay for goods and services instead. The PSP, along with the National Bureau of Investigation, the Bureau of Customs, and the Philippine Coast Guard earlier seized the said 50 million peso stockpile of 1 peso coins. While at it, BSP agents determined that the accumulated coins came from various design series, samples of which are now being tested to confirm authenticity. The central bank earlier called for the public's cooperation, along with the banking institutions, to help preserve the integrity of the local currency. Tribune News on Q will be back. Stay with us.
Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage. Botomoto Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.
You are still watching Tribune News on Q. In our sports news, TNT Tropangiga narrowly escaped with an 89-88 victory against San Miguel Beer to take the Game 1 semifinals of the 46th Philippine Basketball Association Philippine Cup at the Don Honorio Ventura State University Gym in Bacolor, Pampanga. The Tropangiga foiled the Beermen's last-second play with only 9 seconds left, despite missing the presence of veteran big man Kelly William due to health and safety protocols. Roger Pogoy shone with 23 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals, while Jason Castro added 16 points and 6 rebounds. JP Aram backstopped his efforts with 15 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 block, followed by Troy Rosario added 14 markers and 5 boards. Best player of the conference candidate Mikey Williams was limited to only 7 points, but still provided crucial contributions of 8 rebounds and 6 assists. San Miguel CJ Perez, meanwhile, capped his semis debut with 23 points and 5 boards. Meanwhile, a 5.6 magnitude earthquake rocked Occidental Mindoro at 5:59 a.m. on October 3. The tremor was detected 10 kilometers off Sablayan, according to the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology. Intensity 3 was felt in San Jose Occidental Mindoro, Intensity 2 in Batangas City, Intensity 1 in Mulanay and Mauban, Quezon, and Tagaytay City. That wraps up the stories this morning. Before we go, we would like to thank the SM Store, Department of Tourism, Aranda Center, MG Motors, Hina Motors, Security Bank, and Overseas Community Affairs Council member Alan Lin of Republic of China for their continued support. Again, this is Venice Bautista, and you are watching Tribune News on Q. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay at home. Good morning!
Boto mo to Halalan 2022, the Daily Tribune special coverage.